I'd just been promoted to captain, but Dad's hand cracked across my shoulder as he sneered. The Army changed nothing about you. Mom's palm found my cheek next teaching manners. They called it family love. I called it a weapon. And tonight, I was disarming them. In combat. Roger that means the plan is set. At home. It means the trap is armed. I've learned to wait in war zones, watching for the perfect moment to pull the trigger. This time, the battlefield was our dining room, and I wasn't firing bullets, I was firing truth. My name is Rowan Hale, and I've survived IEDs in Kandahar, mortar fire in Mosul, and supply chain failures that could have killed entire battalions. But nothing prepared me for dinner at my parents' house in Red Maple, Ohio. The night I announced my promotion to major, the dining room smells like overcooked pot roast and disappointment. Same mahogany table from my childhood, same crooked silver spoons Mom inherited from Grandma Whitmore, same ticking grandfather clock marking time like artillery rounds. Tick, tick, tick. 7:15 p.m., prime time for family court. So, Dad Martin Whitmore sets down his fork with surgical precision. He's got that look, the one that used to make me hide report cards. Major Hale, sounds important. It is important, I say, keeping my voice level. In the field, emotion gets you killed. At this table, it gets you eaten alive. Mom, Elise, touches her pearls. Always the pearls when she's about to strike. Important enough to finally give you a real life, or are you still playing soldier? Playing, like the last 12 years were dress-up, like the scar on my shoulder from shrapnel is makeup. Grace, my sister, swirls her wine. She's wearing a suit that costs more than most soldiers make in a month. Kerr Industries just landed the Midwest distribution contract, she announces, stealing the spotlight like she's been doing since we were kids. $20 million in projected revenue. Now that's success, Dad says, raising his glass to Grace. To Grace, not to me. I lift my water glass. To family achievements. The words taste like sand. Dad's hand shoots out, grabs my wrist. Not violent, just firm, controlling. The Army changed nothing about you. Rowan, still stubborn, still cold. Martin, Mom says, but she's not defending me. She's warning him that his grip might leave marks, and marks raise questions at church. I don't pull away. I've been trained to assess threats, catalog positions, memorize exits. Dad's at the head of the table, king of his domain. Mom to his right, the enforcer disguised as a saint. Grace to his left, the golden child counting her coins. Me at the far end, the soldier who doesn't belong. I need to use the restroom, I say, extracting my wrist with a movement so smooth he doesn't realize I've taken control. In the bathroom, I splash cold water on my face. The mirror shows me what they refuse to see: steady eyes that have watched supply convoys burn, hands that have signed death notifications, shoulders that have carried more than pot roast critiques. My phone buzzes. Bank notification. Unusual activity detected on account ending in 7749. I'll check it later. Right now, I need to survive this dinner. Back at the table, they're discussing Grace's vacation home in Aspen. Mom's describing the marble countertops like they're holy relics. Dad's calculating tax write-offs. Where's your property again? Rowan. Grace asks, fake casual. She knows exactly where it is, Alder Creek. Bought with combat pay and deployment bonuses. $520,000 of my blood and sweat. Same place it's always been, I say. Must be nice, having all that space to yourself. Grace's smile is sharp as concertina wire. Seems wasteful for one person. Mom nods. Families should share resources, pool them together. That's what the Whitmores do. I'm a Hale, I remind them. Dad insisted I take his mother's maiden name when I enlisted. Didn't want the Whitmore name tarnished if I died overseas. Semantics. Dad waves his hand like he's dismissing troops. You're still our responsibility. Responsibility, like I'm a debt they're collecting on. The grandfather clock chimes 8 p.m. In Afghanistan. This would be patrol time. Here, it's judgment hour. I should go. I stand, smooth, controlled. Early morning PT. Physical training. Grace translates for our parents, mockingly. Everything's an acronym with you. Dad stands too, moves to block my path to the door. For a moment, we're locked in position. I could disable him in 3 moves. He knows it. I know it. But this isn't that kind of battle. Family comes first. Rowan. His breath smells like whiskey and authority. Remember that. Roger that, I say, and slide past him. Outside, the Ohio air is cold and clean. I sit in my truck, engine off, watching the house. Through the dining room window, I see them laughing. Grace shows them something on her phone. Mom claps. Dad pours another drink. My phone buzzes again. Same bank notification. This time, I open it. Property transfer initiated Alder Creek Ranch. New owner Kerr Family Ventures LLC. My hands don't shake. They never do. But something inside me goes very, very still. The kind of still that comes before an ambush. I know what this is now. This isn't dinner. It's war. The bank notification burns in my retina like a flare. Property transfer initiated. 3 words that mean someone's trying to steal $520,000 from me while I sat at their table eating overcooked meat. I drive to my apartment in downtown Red Maple. Tactical breathing keeping my heart rate steady. 4 counts in, hold 4, release 4. The same rhythm that kept me alive under mortar fire. Inside, I boot up my laptop, pull up the county records website. My fingers move with the same precision I use to field strip a weapon. Click, type, search. There it is. Electronic filing, submitted yesterday at 4:37 p.m. Power of attorney document granting Grace Whitmore Kerr full authority over my assets. My signature at the bottom. Except I didn't sign it. I zoom in on the signature. The R in Rowan curves wrong too round. Like someone who learned cursive from YouTube tutorials instead of Catholic school nuns who'd wrap your knuckles for sloppy letters. The H in Hale sits too high on the baseline. Amateur work. I download the document, take screenshots, email everything to my personal backup server, the one I set up after learning in Iraq that redundancy saves lives. Next, I pull up Kerr Family Ventures LLC, registered 48 hours ago. Grace is the CEO, CFO, and sole board member. The business address our parents' house in Maple Crest. The rage wants to rise, hot and sharp. I push it down. Rage makes you sloppy. In Fallujah, sloppy got people killed. Here, sloppy means they win. I make coffee black, strong enough to strip paint. Then I start building my intel file. Document 1. The forged power of attorney. I enlarge the signature, compare it to my actual signature on my military ID, my promotion papers, my original property deed. The differences are obvious when you know what to look for. Document 2, Kerr Family Ventures, LLC formation papers. Interesting timing created just 2 days before the transfer attempt. Rush job. Desperate. Why? Document 3, the property transfer request? Not completed yet, still pending bank verification. That's why the notification. The bank's fraud detection caught something. Good. That gives me time. I check the metadata on the PDF of the power of attorney. Created on Grace's MacBook Pro. Modified 3 times. Last saved from IP address 192.1168.1.47. I run a trace. The Whitmore house Wi-Fi. They sat in that house, probably at that same mahogany table, and decided to rob me. My phone rings. Unknown number, but I recognize the area code. Langford County Administration. Major Hale. Speaking. This is Jennifer at the county recorder's office. We received an unusual document regarding your property on Alder Creek. The notary seal looked irregular. I wanted to verify. I didn't sign it, I say, and I didn't authorize it. Silence. Then, I see. Major, you'll need to file a fraud report immediately. Do you have evidence? I'm collecting it now. Good. Can you come in tomorrow morning? Ada M. Bring everything you have. Roger that. I hang up and open a new browser tab. Midland Bureau of Financial Crimes, MBFC. They handle interstate fraud over $50,000. This qualifies. But first, more intel. I log into the security system I installed at Alder Creek last year. Grace doesn't know about the cameras, they look like standard motion sensors. I scroll through the footage. There. Yesterday, 2:14 p.m. A white Lexus Graces pulls into my driveway. She gets out, walks the property, takes photos. She's carrying a folder, measuring her theft before she commits it. I download the footage, add it to the file. My laptop pings. Email from the bank. We've frozen the transfer pending verification. Please contact us within 72 hours. 72 hours. In combat, that's an eternity. Here, it's just enough time to set up the perfect ambush. I pick up my phone, scroll to a contact I haven't used in 2 years. Marcus Thompson, former Army CID, now a investigator with MBFC. We served together in Baghdad. Hail that really you? I need a favor, Marcus. What kind of favor? The kind where someone's trying to steal $500,000 in property using forged documents. Whistle. Military fraud. Family fraud. Pause. That's worse. What do you need? Full investigation. I've got evidence, but I need official weight behind it. Send me what you have. If it's solid, we'll have a warrant in 24 hours. I forward him everything. The forged signature, the LLC documents, the security footage, the metadata showing the PDF originated from the Whitmore house. Jesus, Rowan, this is your family. Got it. I'll call you in the morning. I hang up, lean back in my chair. Outside, Red Maple sleeps peacefully. Normal people with normal families living normal lives. But I learned a long time ago that the enemy doesn't always wear a uniform. Sometimes they wear pearls. Sometimes they pour your wine. Sometimes they share your DNA. The coffee's gone cold. I don't care. I've stayed awake for 72 hours straight in combat zones. This is nothing. I open a new document, start typing my statement for the morning. Facts only, no emotion. Just like an after-action report. At 2:33 a.m., my phone buzzes. Text from Grace. Hope you enjoyed dinner. Let's do it again soon. We have so much to discuss about the family finances. I don't respond. Let her think I'm asleep. Let her think she's won. In 12 hours, she'll learn what I learned in Afghanistan. The quiet ones are the most dangerous. 8 sharp. Langford County Administration Building smells like old paper and fresh betrayal. Jennifer from the recorder's office is younger than her phone voice suggested, maybe 25. Sharp eyes behind designer glasses. Major Hale, thank you for coming. She leads me to a conference room where 2 men in suits wait. Not local government suits, federal cuts. Marcus Thompson, MBFC. My old battle buddy extends his hand. Still has the same firm grip from when he pulled me out of a burning Humvee. This is Agent David Park, Financial Crimes Division. Park's handshake tells me he's never held a rifle but has probably sent more people to prison than I've sent downrange. Good. I need that kind of precision. I lay out my evidence like a mission briefing. Printed screenshots, USB drive with the security footage, side-by-side signature comparisons. Park examines each document with the focus of a bomb tech checking wires. The notary who supposedly witnessed this. Park taps the forged power of attorney. Lisa Brennan. She works at a UPS store in Maple Crest. We called her this morning. And she remembers your sister. Came in alone 2 days ago. Asked to notarize a family document. Brennan refused because the signatory you wasn't present. Your sister left angry. So how did the seal get on the document? Marcus pulls up something on his tablet. Brennan's store was burglarized that night. Nothing taken except the notary stamp. I finish. Bingo. Local PD thought it was kids. Now we know better. Jennifer speaks up. There's more. I pulled the property records. Your sister's LLC tried to file 3 other documents this week. Transfer of mineral rights, timber rights, and something called a quitclaim deed. She's not just stealing the land, Park says. She's parsing out every valuable component separately, Sophisticated. Someone coached her. I think of Grace at dinner, swirling her wine, talking about 20 million in revenue. She didn't learn this at business school. No. Marcus agrees. This is professional level fraud. We need to know who else is involved. My parents, I say flat. The PDF metadata shows their Wi-Fi. Park and Marcus exchange glances. That's circumstantial for them. Solid for your sister, but I need more. You need them to incriminate themselves. Park corrects. On record. I lean back. Tactical mind spinning. In Afghanistan, we'd use bait, draw the enemy out, make them expose their position. I could wear a wire. Too risky, Marcus says. They know you too well. One wrong word and they'll lawyer up. What if I don't confront them? What if I play weak instead? Park's interested. Elaborate. They think I'm cold, emotionless. What if I call my mother, tell her I'm overwhelmed, that I'm thinking of simplifying my life? Maybe even mentioning selling the property. They'd jump on that. Marcus nods. Try to help you with the sale. And we'd be recording, Park adds. But we'd need more than one conversation. Pattern of conspiracy. Jennifer clears her throat. There's a planning commission meeting next week. Public forum. Your sister's LLC is on the agenda requesting zoning changes for Alder Creek. She's already planning development, I say. The rage flickers. I breathe it down. That's bold. Park whistles. Filing public documents for property she doesn't own yet? Arrogant. Marcus corrects. And arrogance makes people sloppy. We spend the next 3 hours building the operation. Marcus will file for emergency asset protection, freezing any transfers for 30 days. Park will get warrants for email and phone records. Jennifer will flag any documents coming through the county system. What about Consult Pro Services? I ask, remembering the name from my research last night. Park types rapidly. Shell Company, registered in Delaware. But look here. He turns his screen. Same registered agent as 12 other companies, all connected to a William Kerr, Grace's husband's brother. I provide. He's a lawyer, disbarred in Pennsylvania for client fund theft. Park finishes, reading his screen. Now we're getting somewhere. Marcus stands. Rowan, I need you to maintain normal patterns. Go to work. Go to PT. Act like nothing's wrong. Can you do that? I almost laugh. I've maintained normal patterns while watching friends bleed out. This is easy. Meanwhile, Park adds, we'll be setting up surveillance. Your parents' house, Grace's office, the UPS store where the notary works. We need to document any attempts to file those forged documents. Timeline. I ask. 48 hours for warrants. Another 24 to coordinate with local PD. Can you hold that long? I can hold forever. Marcus grips my shoulder. We're going to nail them. Rowan, all of them. As we leave, Jennifer hands me a business card. My direct line. Any new documents come through, you'll know immediately. Outside, the Ohio morning is bright and cold. Marcus walks me to my truck. You good. Hail. Really? They taught me to be family, I say. Army taught me to be family. There's a difference. What are you going to do now? What I do best, I tell him. Wait, watch. Strike when they least expect it. He nods. Understands. We've both been in enough fights to know the best victories come when the enemy thinks they've already won. I drive to the base, report for duty like nothing's wrong. But inside, I'm building battle plans. Grace wants my property. She'll have to go through the United States government to get it. And unlike our parents' dinner table, this is my terrain now. 3 days pass. I maintain routines PT at 5:30 a.m., office by 7, home by 6, normal patterns while the trap sets itself. Thursday night, 9:43 p.m., time to test their loyalty. I pour myself a whiskey just enough to roughen my voice and dial Mom's cell. She answers on the second ring. Rowan, it's late. I know. I needed to talk to someone. Silence. In 12 years, I've never called her for comfort. What's wrong, sweetheart? The endearment sounds rusty, like she's pulling it from storage. I'm tired, Mom. Really tired. I let my voice crack slightly. The promotion, the responsibility. Maybe Dad was right. Maybe the army didn't change anything. Maybe I'm just playing soldier. I can hear her breathing shift, the predator scenting weakness. Oh, honey, we all get overwhelmed sometimes. You're taking on too much. As usual. The property upkeep is killing me. I continue. Alder Creek. 500 acres is a lot for one person. I'm thinking maybe I should simplify. Simplify. Her voice sharpens with interest. Maybe sell it. Or transfer it to someone who could actually use it. Pause. I can practically hear her calculating. That's a big decision. Rowan, you shouldn't make it alone. Family should help with these things. Yeah, maybe. Grace knows about property management. She could evaluate it for you, see what your options are. There it is. The setup. I don't know. Don't be stubborn, sweetheart. Let us help. Why don't you come for dinner Sunday? We can discuss it properly. Okay, I whisper. Sunday. And Rowan, bring any paperwork you have. Property deed, tax assessments. Grace will want to review everything. Sure, Mom. I hang up. Immediately text Marcus. Contact made. They're biting. His reply is instant. Recording. Every word. I've been using an app he recommended legal in Ohio for single-party consent recording. Everything backs up to MBFC servers. Friday morning, my phone buzzes. Email from Grace. Subject line, thinking of you. Hey sis, Mom mentioned you're feeling overwhelmed. I've been researching property management solutions that might help. There are ways to transfer assets that could actually save you money on taxes. Let's talk Sunday. I've already drawn up some preliminary paperwork, just options for you to consider. No pressure. Family first. Right, G. Already drawn up. She had paperwork ready before I even called Mom. I forward it to Park. His response. She just implicated herself in conspiracy to commit fraud. Keep going. Saturday afternoon. I'm at the base gym when my phone rings. Dad. Rowan. Sir. Old habits. Your mother says you're struggling. It's been difficult. I told you the military would leave you unprepared for real life. All that structure, following orders, you never learned to think strategically about wealth. I grip the phone tighter. You're probably right. Grace can help you. She's brilliant with finances. Did you know she just secured another investor for Kerr Industries' $2 million in capital? $2 million. Probably promising my land as collateral. That's impressive, I manage. She could do the same for you. Transform that dead weight property into real value. You just have to trust family. Trust. The word tastes like copper pennies. I'll think about it. Don't think too long. Opportunities disappear. Grace mentioned there's already developer interest in the Alder Creek area. Some tech company wants to build a retreat center. You could make 3 times what you paid. Except I won't see a penny if Grace steals it first. I'll see you tomorrow. Dad? Bring an open mind. Rowan. And the paperwork. I hang up. Call Marcus immediately. They're accelerating, I tell him. Talking about developers. Immediate opportunities. Good. Means they're desperate. Park got the warrants. We've been monitoring their emails since yesterday. And your sister's been corresponding with someone called W.K. William Kerr, we assume, discussing the package being ready by Monday. The forged transfer documents? Exactly. She's planning to file them Monday morning when the county office opens. Except she doesn't know we've already flagged the system. So tomorrow's dinner is when they'll try to get you to sign something, or get information to forge better documents. We'll have units standing by. No, I say quickly. Not yet. Let me get them talking first. If you move too early, they'll claim misunderstanding. Family dispute. No criminal intent. Marcus sighs. How far are you willing to push this? I think of Dad's hand on my wrist, Mom's palm across my face, Grace's smile as she talked about success. All the way? All right. But you wear a wire. Real one this time, not just phone recording. And we'll have agents 3 blocks away. Fine. That night, I sit in my apartment, looking at old photos. There's one from my commissioning ceremony. Mom, Dad, and Grace, all smiling. They looked proud then, or maybe they were just calculating how much my death benefits would be worth. I open my laptop, check the security footage from Alder Creek. Another car today, unmarked sedan, someone taking photos. Private investigator, probably, hired to assess the property value. They're circling like vultures. Good. Let them think the body's already dead. Sunday's coming. The second dinner. The one where they'll try to close the deal. I clean my service weapon muscle memory, meditation, oil, cloth, reassemble. The weight of it reminds me who I really am. Not their disappointing daughter, not their stubborn sister. I'm Major Rowan Hale. I've survived worse than family betrayal. And tomorrow, I'm going to prove that the Army changed everything. Sunday, 6 p.m. I park my truck at the end of Maple Crest Drive, right where Marcus told me to. The MBFC surveillance van sits 3 blocks east, disguised as a plumbing service vehicle. I'm wearing the wire thin as dental floss, taped beneath my sweater. In my bag, property deed, tax documents, and a USB drive containing absolutely nothing but looking important enough to bait questions. Also in my bag, a bottle of cheap wine from the gas station, $9, Merlot. The kind of thoughtless gift that says I'm trying but failing. I walk to the door. Same brick path I've walked since I was 5. Different mission now. Grace answers before I knock. She's been watching. Rowan, come in. You look tired. I let my shoulders sag. Haven't been sleeping well. Mom's in the kitchen. Dad's in his study. He'll join us for dinner. The house smells like rosemary chicken and conspiracy. Grace leads me to the living room where papers are already spread across the coffee table. She didn't even pretend to wait. I took the liberty of pulling some comps for properties like yours, she says, sitting too close. You're sitting on a gold mine. Rowan. I set the wine on the table. Notice how her eyes track my bag. I brought the documents you asked for. Perfect. But first, relax. You're home. Home. This place stopped being home the day they made me take a different last name. Mom emerges from the kitchen, wiping her hands on an apron that says, "Bless this mess." She hugs me, performance for Grace. Not affection. You look thin, she says. Are you eating? MREs don't count as food. Mom, Grace jokes. She probably lives on those awful military rations. I actually cook quite well. They'd know that if they'd ever visited my apartment. Dad appears in the doorway, bourbon in hand. Rowan, glad you came to your senses. We moved to the dining room. Same positions as last week, but now I understand the formation. They've got me surrounded classic pincer movement. The chicken's dry. I chew mechanically. Let them fill the silence. So, Grace starts, casual as a landmine. I've been thinking about your situation. My situation. The property burden. You mentioned wanting to simplify. I nod, push food around my plate. It's just a lot. There's a solution that benefits everyone. Dad interjects. Family trust. Here it comes. Essentially, Grace pulls out a folder, the same one from the security footage. You transfer the property to a family holding company. We manage it, pay you monthly dividends from any development or leasing. You get income without responsibility. And the company would be Kerr Family Ventures, Grace says smoothly. It's already established, licensed, bonded, very above board. Above board, like the forged signature gathering dust in their printer. I'd need to think about it, I mumble. Of course. Mom reaches over, pats my hand. Her rings are cold. But Grace did prepare some preliminary transfer papers, just to review. You could take them home, look them over. Or, Grace adds, sign tonight and be done with it. Start fresh tomorrow. The pressure's building. They're rushing, desperate. Good. I brought my deed, I say, reaching for my bag, to compare against your paperwork. Grace's eyes light up. Perfect. Let me see. I hand over the deed, the real one. Watch her scan it hungrily, noting account numbers, Legal description, recording data, everything she needs for better forgeries. This is actually quite straightforward, she says. The transfer would be simple. I could handle it all for you. Like you handled the power of attorney. The words slip out before I can stop them. Silence. Grace freezes. Mom's fork clatters against her plate. Dad sets down his bourbon with deliberate control. What power of attorney? Grace's voice is steady, but her pupils dilate. Fear response. Nothing. I backtrack. Fake, flustered. I just got some weird bank notice. Probably a glitch. What kind of notice? Dad leans forward. Something about a property transfer, but the bank froze it. Said the signature looked off. Grace's face cycles through emotions: surprise, calculation, damage control. That's concerning. Identity theft is everywhere these days. You should check your credit. I did. Only alert was the attempted transfer to some company called Kerr Family Ventures. The name hangs in the air like smoke from a burned bridge. That must be a different company, Grace says quickly. Too quickly. My LLC is new. Someone else must have used the name. Probably. I agree. Just weird timing. Mom stands abruptly. Dessert, I made pie. She flees to the kitchen. Grace follows, mumbling about helping. Dad and I sit in the ruins of their plan. You know, he says finally, sometimes banks make mistakes. Sometimes papers get filed incorrectly. Misunderstandings. Misunderstandings, I repeat. Family doesn't prosecute family. Rowan, whatever you think happened, we can resolve it privately. There it is. The admission. Even if someone tried to steal $500,000, his jaw tightens. Even then, family protects family. From outsiders, I clarify. Not from each other. Grace returns with pie I won't eat and coffee that smells bitter as their love. I've been thinking, she says, voice bright and false. Maybe you should hold on to the property. Market's volatile right now. The retreat. They know I know. Actually, I stand. I should go. Early morning. But we haven't discussed, Mom starts. We've discussed enough. I pick up my deed. Leave the wine. At the door, Grace grabs my arm. Rowan, if there's been some confusion about paperwork, we should clear it up. As a family. I look at her hand on my arm. Same manicured nails that typed my forged signature. It'll be cleared up. I promise. Tomorrow morning. 8 a.m. Her grip tightens. What happens at 8? The county office opens. I pull free, walk to my truck. In the rearview mirror, I see them standing in the doorway. 3 silhouettes against warm house light, watching me leave. The wire recorded everything. Dad's admission, Grace's lies, Mom's complicity. I drive past the surveillance van, flash my lights once. Message received. Tomorrow. They'll learn what I learned in combat. The enemy often wears familiar faces. Tonight. They'll sleep thinking they still have control. They're wrong. Monday morning. 7:55 a.m. I'm parked across from the county office, watching Grace's white Lexus pull into the lot. She's holding a folder, the forged documents. No doubt. Right on schedule. My phone buzzes. Marcus. She just walked in, team's moving. I wait. 3 minutes. 4. Then I see them Marcus and Park, plus 4 other agents, entering through different doors. No rush. Professional. 7 minutes pass. My phone rings. Grace. Rowan, where are you? Her voice is high, stressed. At work. Why? There are federal agents here, at the county office. They're saying, her voice breaks. They're saying I forged documents. What documents? The power of attorney. But I can explain. Save it for your lawyer, Grace. Silence. Then, you did this. No, I correct. You did this. I just reported it. She hangs up. I drive to my parents' house, knowing the second wave is coming. 8:43 a.m. I'm standing on their porch when the MBFC vehicles arrive. Dad opens the door before they knock, already dressed in his golf clothes. He sees me first. You called them. Not a question. They called me, I say, after finding fraudulent documents with my forged signature. Mom appears behind him, still in her robe. Rowan, what's happening? Park steps forward. Mr. and Mrs. Whitmore, we have a warrant to search these premises and seize electronic devices related to conspiracy to commit fraud. This is ridiculous. Dad blusters. We're her parents. Which makes it worse, Marcus says, entering with evidence bags and boxes. They're efficient. Laptops, phones, the printer from Dad's study, the router with its connection logs. Everything Grace touched when she crafted her theft. Mom sinks into a chair. Rowan, how could I protect myself report a crime? We're family, she whispers. Family doesn't steal from family. I echo Dad's words from last night. You taught me that. Remember, an agent emerges from Dad's study carrying banker's boxes. Found something interesting. Emails between Mr. Whitmore and someone named William Kerr. Discussion of property valuations, development plans. Dad's face goes white. Those are private business discussions. About property you don't own. Park notes. That's conspiracy. Another agent. From upstairs. Found a USB drive taped inside a picture frame. Contains scanned signatures. Ms. Hale's military documents, Social Security information. My military documents. They'd been collecting my information for who knows how long. Building quite the forgery kit. Marcus observes. Mom starts crying. Not pretty tears ugly. Angry sobs. You were supposed to share. We raised you. We deserved something. You deserved something. The rage finally escapes, cold and controlled. I served 12 years, got shot at, watched friends die, earned every penny of that property through combat pay and hazard duty, and you think you deserved it. We gave you life. Dad spits. And I gave my life to my country. That doesn't make my earnings yours. Park's phone rings. He answers, listens, nods. Grace Whitmore Kerr just tried to access the business account for Kerr Family Ventures, the one with your name as co-owner, Mr. Whitmore. Dad's jaw drops. She forged your signature too. I ask. Imagine that. The irony hits him like a slap. His golden child, stealing from him while stealing from me. Where is she now? Mom demands. Federal custody, Park answers. Along with William Kerr, who was attempting to file fraudulent liens on the property as we speak. More agents carry out boxes. Years of family photos mixed with evidence of conspiracy. Our history, corrupted. There's something else. Marcus tells me quietly. We found records of a previous attempt, from 2 years ago. Different property, different victim. An elderly aunt of yours, Aunt Helen, died last year. Left everything to charity because she didn't trust the family anymore. Now I know why. Pattern of behavior, Park adds. This wasn't their first theft. Just their most ambitious. I watch my parents shrink into themselves. They're not titans anymore, just 2 greedy people who mistook blood for a blank check. Are you arresting them? I ask. Not yet, Park says. Depends what we find in the electronics. But they'll be charged. Count on it. Dad finally looks at me. Really looks. You won. Happy. No, I tell him. Winning would have been having parents who loved me more than my bank account. Mom stops crying. We do love you. You love the idea of me, the successful daughter you could brag about at church, the military hero whose benefits you could steal. But me, Rowan, the person who calls you crying after a nightmare about Kandahar, you hung up on that girl. Every time. Neighbors are gathering outside. The Whitmores, pillars of the community, being raided by federal agents. The scandal will destroy them socially before the courts destroy them legally. One more thing. Marcus hands me a document. Asset recovery papers. The property is already back in your name. The attempt never went through. I sign where he indicates. My real signature. the one Grace couldn't quite copy. As I turn to leave, Dad calls out, "The Army did change you, made you heartless." I stop at the door, look back at the man who was supposed to protect me. No, Dad, it made me a survivor. You made me heartless. I walk out as agents continue cataloging evidence. The grandfather clock chimes 9 a.m. In 13 minutes, Grace will be formally charged. By noon, it'll be on the news. By tonight, everyone will know what the Whitmores really are. I sit in my truck, engine running, watching agents work. My phone buzzes with messages from Army friends who heard through Marcus. Support, anger on my behalf, real family. The last box comes out. The investigation moves to the next phase. Time for me to move too, away from this, towards something better. The property is mine. The truth is out. Mission complete. 6 p.m. Same dining room, same mahogany table, but now it's surrounded by federal agents, not family. I'm here for the formal identification of evidence. Marcus insisted on doing it here, at the scene of their conspiracy. Psychological pressure, he called it. I call it justice served where the crime was planned. They're all here, Mom, Dad, Grace sitting on one side like defendants at court-martial. Their lawyers flank them. Expensive suits that scream panic retainer. On our side, Park, Marcus, 2 other agents, and me. The dining room light catches every surface: the polished wood, the silver frames, the handcuffs on Grace's wrists. Let's begin. Park opens the evidence box. Item 1, power of attorney document with forged signature of Rowan Hale. He slides it across the table. Under the bright light, the fake signature looks even more amateur. Grace won't meet my eyes. Item 2, USB drive containing 37 scanned documents belonging to Major Hale, including military ID, social security card, and discharge papers. Mom flinches. She knows those were from her memory box in the attic, the one where she kept my baby teeth and betrayal blueprints. Item 3, email chain between Grace Whitmore Kerr and William Kerr discussing, quote, removing the obstacle to the Alder Creek development. That was taken out of context. Grace's lawyer interjects. The context being fraud, Marcus asks, because that's what we found. Park continues. Item 4, financial records showing structured deposits into accounts controlled by Martin and Elise Whitmore, sourced from Kerr Family Ventures, LLC. Dad's lawyer whispers urgently in his ear. Dad looks sick. You were already spending my money, I say quietly, before you even stole it. We had investors lined up. Grace finally speaks, her voice hollow. The development would have made millions. My property, my millions. You were wasting it. She explodes, lawyers grabbing her arms. 500 acres just sitting there while you play soldier. We could have built something magnificent. I built something magnificent. It's called integrity. Park pulls out more documents. Item 5, previous fraudulent transfers. Helen Whitmore's estate. Margaret Whitmore's trust fund. Robert Whitmore's. How many family members did you steal from? I interrupt, looking at my parents. Mom starts that ugly crying again. It wasn't stealing. It was consolidating family resources into your bank account. We were building a legacy. Dad slams his hand on the table. Same gesture he used to end arguments when I was young. Doesn't work now. No, you were building a crime syndicate with family reunions. Marcus opens another box. We've frozen 16 accounts, identified 4 shell companies, and found evidence of tax evasion going back 7 years. This isn't just fraud anymore. It's RICO. RICO, racketeering. My parents ran a criminal enterprise from this dining room. Grace's lawyer stands. My client would like to make a deal. Sit down, Grace. Dad barks. No. She turns on him. You said it would be easy, that Rowan was weak, emotional, wouldn't notice until it was done. You said, shut up. Mom shrieks. But Grace is done being quiet. They planned it all. Mom tracked your deployments. Knew when you'd be overseas and couldn't respond quickly. Dad identified the properties, researched the values. I just executed the fraud. Park notes, recording everything. The family unity cracks, shatters, explodes. They turn on each other, each trying to minimize their role, maximize others' guilt. The lawyers can't contain them. I watch my family devour itself at the same table where they tried to devour me. Enough, I finally say. Everyone stops. I want to make a statement, for the record. Marcus nods, starts recording. My name is Major Rowan Hale. These people, I gesture at them, are genetically related to me. Nothing more. They systematically stole from multiple family members, using trust as their weapon, love as their camouflage. They counted on family loyalty to protect them from consequences. I look at each of them. But loyalty goes both ways. Respect goes both ways. Love goes both ways. You gave none, so you get none. Dad tries once more. Rowan, please. Major Hale, I correct. You forfeited the right to use my first name when you forged it. Park stands, signals the agents. Grace Whitmore Kerr, you're under arrest for fraud, conspiracy, identity theft, and violation of the Racketeering Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. They read her rights as they check her handcuffs. She looks at me, desperate. Rowan, I'm your sister. My sister died when she decided my property was worth more than my trust. They turn to my parents. Martin Whitmore, Elise Whitmore, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit fraud, money laundering, and racketeering. The handcuffs click like the grandfather clock. Precise. Final. As they're let out, Mom makes one last attempt. What will people think the family name will be in the news by 9 p.m.? I tell her. Everyone will know exactly what kind of family the Whitmores are. They're gone. The house is quiet except for agents packing evidence. I stand at the table looking at the empty chairs. Marcus approaches. You did good, Rowan. Did I? I touch the table's surface. I grew up here, learned to tie my shoes in that doorway, had birthday parties in this room, and they used every one of those memories against you. He's right. Every family photo was reconnaissance. Every shared meal was intelligence gathering. Every I love you was a lie. What happens now? I ask. Trial. With what Grace just confessed, plus the evidence they're looking at 15 to 20 years, each 20 years. When they get out, I'll be in my 50s. Career complete, life lived. Without them. The house will be seized. Proceeds go to victims' restitution. That includes you and your aunt's estate. I take one last look around. The grandfather clock chimes 8 p.m. In this room, around this table, my family ended. No, my imprisonment ended. I walk out. Don't look back. Outside, neighbors are filming with their phones. Tomorrow, everyone will know. Good. In my truck. I call Alder Creek's caretaker. Jim, it's Rowan. I'm coming home. Everything all right? Major. Everything's perfect. I drive away from Maple Crest, from the Whitmores, from the lie of family that was really a criminal enterprise. The truth family isn't blood, it's choice. And they chose greed. I chose justice. The war's over. I won. 8:30 p.m. The last box of evidence slides into the federal van. Red and blue lights still paint the Whitmore house like a crime scene photo. Which it is. I stand by my truck, watching the circus. Mrs. Patterson from next door catches my eye, whispers something to her husband. Tomorrow she'll tell everyone at church how she always suspected something was off. My phone buzzes. Text from an unknown number. I almost delete it, then see the preview. This is Grace, from Holding. Against my better judgment, I open it. You won. Hope you're happy alone with your principles and your empty land. I type back, not alone. Never was. Just couldn't see my real family through your shadow. Delete her number. Block it. Done. Marcus walks over, loosening his tie. Transport's leaving. They'll be processed tonight. Arraignment tomorrow. Will you need me there? Not until trial. Your evidence speaks for itself. Evidence. That's all they are now. Evidence of what greed does to blood. Rowan. Sut. Park approaches with a final document. The asset freeze is lifted on your accounts. And this, he hands me a paper. Preliminary restitution from their seized accounts. About $300,000. The rest comes after conviction. Money they stole from others, now returning through justice. Give it to Aunt Helen's charity. Both men look surprised. All of it. Every penny. I have what I earned. That's enough. I drive away from Maple Crest for the last time. In the rearview mirror, the red-blue lights fade to black. The war's over, but there's no celebration. Just relief. Like when you finally cut out an infected wound, it hurts. But the poison's gone. Alder Creek at night looks different. Peaceful. Real. No hidden agendas in the oak trees. No betrayal in the creek's whisper. Just land that I bought with blood and distance. I park outside the main house, my house, and sit on the porch. The stars are clearer here than in Afghanistan, but the silence is the same. The kind that comes after battle, when you count who's left standing. My phone rings. Colonel Mitchell from base. Hale, heard you had some family trouble. Handled, sir. Need anything time off? No, sir. I'll be at PT tomorrow. Oh, 5:30. Roger that. Major. Major. The rank they said meant nothing, the achievement they dismissed over pot roast, but it means everything. It means I survived their worst and still stood tall. I unlock the door. Enter my house. Real hardwood. Not mahogany veneer. Honest surfaces that don't hide rot underneath. On the mantel. My medals. Bronze star. Purple heart. Commendation medals. Things earned. Not stolen. The grandfather clock in my parents' house is probably still ticking, marking time in an empty crime scene. But here, the only sound is wind through pines and my own breathing. Free. I pour a whiskey good stuff, not the gas station bottle, and toasted the empty room. To family, I say aloud. The ones who choose you back. Tomorrow, Marcus will call with updates. Lawyers will send papers. Reporters might show up. The Whitmore name will trend locally, maybe nationally. A scandal about family greed, military honor, and the daughter who refused to be a victim. But tonight, I sit in my house, on my land, with my integrity intact. They took my childhood, my trust, my belief that blood meant safety. But they didn't take my core. The Army did change me, made me tactical, suspicious, hard. Made me exactly who I needed to be to survive them. Grace asked if I was happy alone with my principles, but I'm not alone. I have my unit, my real brothers and sisters who've bled beside me. I have this land, earned honestly. I have the knowledge that when tested, I chose truth over blood. The whiskey burns clean going down. Tomorrow starts at 05:30 with PT, then paperwork, then life. Without them, my phone buzzes one last time. Marcus. Just watched Grace's booking. She cried through the whole thing, kept saying, "Family doesn't do this." I text back, "No, family doesn't." Set the phone aside, stand, lock the door with a key they'll never have. Outside, an owl calls. The creek runs clear. My land stretches 500 acres in every direction. Protected now by more than deeds, protected by truth aired out like laundry, consequences faced like enemy fire. They wanted my property. They got federal prison. They preached family loyalty. They got family treason. They called me cold. They were right. Cold as winter. Cold as justice. Cold as the handcuffs clicking shut on wrists that once pretended to embrace me. The owl calls again. I don't answer. Don't need to. Some battles you win by fighting. Some you win by waiting. And some, the ones against those who were supposed to love you, you win by simply refusing to lose. The door stays locked. The land stays mine. The truth stays told. Family isn't a shield. It's a choice. and I choose myself. Thank you for listening to my story. I'd love to know where you're listening from. Drop a comment and let's connect. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts below. Sometimes the hardest battles are fought at dinner tables, not battlefields. What's your take?